So whilst I was out and about yesterday, I happened to walk past one of the UK stores that's currently shutting down. Happened to walk in, have a look round, and I ended up coming out with a stack of 11 bamboo cutting boards and 5 bamboo pizza pills. Now why do I need so many, you might ask? Well, this is a complete spur of the moment thing that I'm already starting to regret a little bit. I've seen many an American YouTuber say starting a laser engraving business, that's the way forward, this is what you've got to do. And I don't see too many UK based people doing it. So this Muppet here, he's going to try starting a laser engraving business. And to do all this laser engraving work, I will be using this, the XTool D1 Pro 20 watt module. I was sent this by XTool about 9-10 months ago. So far I've used it loads. Brilliant machine. So what I thought I would do is like a vloggy type video that covers a month of doing this, and I'll do 3 videos that will take me up to the start of December. We'll go from first product design to the finishing stage and hopefully selling some stuff. Now, as I said, I've bought a stack of cutting boards. In fact, I've bought 11 of these bamboo cutting boards. There was 20% off of these, so they should have been £7, but I got them for £5.60 each. And I bought 11 of them in total, so that comes to £61.60. The pizza pills. The pizza pills. 5 of those. That was 20% off as well, and they were £10, so I got them for £8 each. So that's £40. So we're up to £101.60. I'm out of pocket before I've even done anything. Then, last night, I jumped on Amazon and I bought 2 stacks of these coasters. They're 16 in each, and they were £14.99 a pack, which works out 94p a coaster. So at the time of making this video, I am currently £131.58 out of pocket. On top of that, I've looked on Etsy, I've looked on eBay, and I've seen the quality of laser engraved products people have for sale. So I'm now questioning myself, why the hell am I even attempting this? So if all fails, at the end of the day, local charity shop's going to get a hell of a donation, and that's the family's Christmas present sorted out. Right, I can hear the laser engraver has just finished the first cutting board, so let's go have a look at that. Okay, so because it's such a nice day outside, I thought I would laser outside because it does create some smoke, and especially this engraving. It's looking good. Looking alright so far. Right, so we've done our first cutting board. So let's talk about design. Well, to be fair, I've got no real artistic design, creative flair whatsoever. So this is going to be the bit I'm going to struggle with. So I've gone online and I found some free downloads. Now, I will leave links to these downloads in the description box below, so you can have a look for yourself if you want to do something similar. But apparently, the limited, and I mean limited, research that I have done on these, people quite like a slogan or a saying. So if that's what sells, that's what you've got to go with. So I've done this one, and since doing this one, I've also made this one that says, "My kitchen, my rule." Now, I don't know if it's done intentionally, but I have noticed on the site that I found for these downloads, there is a spelling mistake or two. For instance, on this one it said instead of saying starve, it said starav. So I had to go and change that in the XTool creative software. So it just literally delete this one and write it out in a different font. So now that they're both done, there's a little bit of finishing to do. You might be able to see there's a bit of charring, a bit of burning on the wood. So it's just a bit of simple sanding. Now, obviously, we're all woodworkers here, or predominantly people that watch this channel are. You know that the finish is everything. So I'm going to go over everything on this board. The edges, the gaps in the middle of the board, everything. Get a nice smooth finish. And then we're going to have to think about a finish. More money. So to finish these cutting boards, I've just got a bit of 240 grit sandpaper on the sander, and we'll just give it a good sanding all over. Okay, so it's the next day now, and the cutting boards come out looking absolutely fantastic. It's all sanded down, it's wiped over with a damp cloth, and I did wonder if that would raise a grain, but I thought because this was already pre-finished for when you buy it, it might not do it, and it didn't, so I didn't have to do any more sanding. So ready to put some finish on now. So the reason it's the next day is because I've had to order this mineral oil food grade finish from Amazon, link in the description below, and I've also got some cheap microfiber cloths that I'm just going to apply it with. I don't know if that's too much, but we will find out. Right, so now I've got a problem. Clearly didn't think this through. I need something like an oven grill thingy to put these on, to stand them up somewhere. Okay, so what I managed to do was one-handed, I managed to get hold of these little drawing triangles that I had in a drawer behind me. I've got the boards balancing on them, and then there's only one point of contact touching this little unit behind the boards, so that should be okay. So I'll leave them for 10 minutes and then I'll wipe off the excess and leave them to dry overnight, I guess. Okay, so whilst the cutting boards are drying in that rudimentary fashion, let's go and make a pizza pill.
So here we are at the XTool Creative Space. This is the software I've used to design everything that I've done on the laser engraver. I've not bothered getting third-party software because this is really simple and it caters for all my needs, and I am really simple. So I'm going to click on insert and we're going to put in a circle. So we just make a random size circle, and then up here on the size you'll click unlock, and I'll change the size to the diameter of my pizza pill, which is 371 millimeters. This is just to use as a guideline, so when I'm engraving the image I don't go out of the size of the pizza pill. So we can click ignore over here. Right, so I've been on the internet and I've been on this website here called VectorDad, and basically you can use these SVGs for free. You can download them and you can use them on anything you want. It does say down here, so design, download and sell. Unusual though, it doesn't say that he wants any attribution license. You don't have to list the link to his website or anything, which other places do, but always check that before you download anything. But what I shall do, if I sell anything, here you can buy him a coffee. So if I do sell anything, I will buy him a coffee because I've used this website for the cutting boards as well. So I've downloaded this already, so let's go back to the XTool Creative Space and then we'll upload the picture. So here's the SVG, so we'll just resize it to make it a reasonably decent size. And the thing is with this Creative Space, if you move your image around, it will snap on these center lines. So you can see there that it's got the vertical center line, and if I come down, it snaps on the horizontal, so that image is perfectly in the center. Obviously you might want to move it up or down, You might not want it smack in the center vertically or horizontally, but it does it for you. So it's moved this image into 3 layers. So the blue layer is the outline, the purple layer is obviously part of the SVG, and so is the black layer, but the purple and black layer are both going to be engraved. So if I click over here to engrave, and then I'll click on the purple layer and click engrave again, you can see it's changed them to like a bold font. So the power, it's got 100 power, 100 speed, and that is because if I just click anywhere here on this canvas, you can change the material here to anything you like. You can click more, and you can find different stuff up here. You can search for it, so you can put in wood, and it'll come up with lots of different woods. But I'm going to go with bamboo plant label because that's what I've done the cutting boards in. Now the only thing is, if I click on the black layer, it's got 100% power and 100 millimeters per second. I don't want this to be such a deep engraving as the cutting board, so I'm going to change. I could change the power, but I'll keep the power at that, and I'm going to change to 130 millimeters per second, and then we'll do the same on the purple layer, and that way it shouldn't be too much of a deep engraving. So when you've done all that and you're happy with your design, you click process, and it takes you to the preview page. So the image looks fine, so I'm just going to pop out to the laser engraver and get that set up for the pizza pill. So because I'm starting in the center of the pizza pill, I need to say that I'm starting in the center of the image. And before I do anything else, I'm going to click on here, framing, and I'm going to go check that the pizza pill is in the right position. So now I've got it framed how I want it. We can click on start. Now I've sent the file to the XTool D1, so we can press go and make a pizza pill.
Okay, so it's the next day again, and the cutting boards are now dry, so I'm just going to do the last finishing step on them. So these cutting boards have come up quite nice with the food safe mineral oil that's been applied, but just to give them some extra protection, I'm going to add some of this food safe wax that came from Leo at Hand Eye Craft. Great wax, recommend you go and buy that. So we'll coat it with the wax, and then it should give it that extra layer of protection. So I've given the coating boards their first coat of wax, and these are quite deep engravings, so when you're doing it you just got to be careful. You get all this sort of soot on the cloth. You've got to be careful not to wipe that on the rest of the board because it does show up, so I managed to buff it off. Anyway, I've bought a rack for them to dry on, so I'll leave them for 10-15 minutes and I'll come back and buff off the remainder of the wax. And voila, there we are, just like that, all waxed up, mineral oiled up. I'll put these to one side now to take some decent photos. Okay, so we've got some cutting boards on the go, we've got the pizza pill on the go, all that's left is coasters. And last night I was trying to think of some round objects that would apply easily to these round coasters. And the first thing I thought of was coins. So had a look around, did a bit of research, and it appears that there doesn't seem to be any coasters with coin designs on whatsoever. So rather than go with your basic 2p, 5p, 10p designs, I settled on gold sovereign designs. Now there are some special year gold sovereigns if you don't know. So here's one here, and this is just laser engraved on the bare wood. Then I tried this one, a coat of white paint, spray paint on it, laser engraved that. I think that came out quite well. There's this one that I lasered, sprayed some black paint over, sanded it off so it stands out a bit better. And then finally there's this one which had some white paint sprayed on it as undercoat, black paint on top, and then laser engraved that, and it's picked up the details on that really well. I posted some pictures of these coasters on a forum and people loved them. There was a huge amount of interest in them, but the one thing people did comment on is they just preferred the laser engraved design on the bare wood, but the bare wood looked a little bit white. So as I've only got 2 packets of these coasters, I've already used 4. I think we're going to focus on doing some coins on these coasters and seeing if we can make them stand out a little bit better. Okay, so when it comes to doing these coasters, I've made this template here, and it's got a circle and a square in each section, so I can do 6 at a time. They're 100mm across, and this template just lines up with the edge here on the spoil board and across the top. So once you get that set, you just lay your coasters out in the centres of the circles. And then everything should be centered. Right, so that's the coasters finished. Definitely a little bit more work than I thought. There's a bit of finishing to do on the edges. Anyway, I think they came out looking quite nice. The camera will pick them up. The light oak wax that I used I think has enhanced the image. So there is a couple more designs that I've just come up with being done on the laser engraver now. But when they're finished, I'm going to take a picture of these and upload them and see what people think. So no real update today on today's productivity. I've just made 2 new cutting boards. We have a 6 on the beach cocktail one with the ingredients. We have a happiness is homemade but wine helps one. Just going to get on with the finishing stage. I've already engraved them obviously, so you've seen all this before, so we'll just skip on to the next day. Okay, so we're a few days on from that last clip. So I put a picture up, and so far I've sold 47 coasters. Now that means I've then had to go out and buy another 2 packs of these coasters. So that was another £29.98. But I do have a few left over now. But with these things, you know, you've got to factor in that you're going to make a mistake or 2 along the way. So I did have a couple of coasters that didn't come out too well, like this one, where I accidentally turned the power off halfway through, or not even halfway through. There's 1 or 2 actually that are like this, where they're not perfectly centre, so I wasn't happy with them. And then this one, I don't even know what happened to this one. It got knocked or moved whilst it was engraving, and I don't really know how, but yeah, it completely went wrong. So I've sold 47, and for those that are interested, I sold them at £3 a coaster. I didn't want to charge a ridiculous amount of money, because at the end of the day I wanted this to be a trial sort of run to try out these coasters and seeing sort of quality that I could get. So for me on this project, it was more about improving the quality of my products and refining the techniques. So that poses a question. How much did I make? Well, let's just do a little bit of math. Right, so the answer to that is I have made £96.82p. So that's not bad going. However, there are 5 coasters that, like I say, did go wrong, that aren't usable anymore. So my total running profit is £92.12p. So I'm quite happy with that, because like I say, it was a little trial project. But now it's time to get back to the cutting boards, pizza peels. And because I've been so preoccupied doing the coasters, I now need to set up an Etsy site.
So while you're watching me set up my new Etsy site, I told XTool that I was making this video, and they asked me if I could make you guys aware of their 3rd anniversary sale. It runs from the 20th of September to the 6th of October, and there's plenty of great discounts to be had. There's this XTool D1 Pro, which is reduced to $8.99, which is a fabulous price for a fantastic machine. They also have accessories reduced, such as this 20-watt diode laser, but one that catches my eye is this infrared laser module. There are plenty of great other machines and accessories reduced, such as the materials as well that XTool supply. We've got a range of plywood, metal business cards, acrylic sheets, there's mugs, lots of different things. And then looking at the range of machines that are on offer, it's fantastic. There's something there that would definitely cater for everyone. Some great bargain prices, and one that jumped out at me was the 5-watt D1 Pro, which is only £489. To me, that is an absolute steal of a deal. Although it doesn't have the power to cut through wood like the 20-watt laser module would, it's still plenty of power to engrave and personalise projects. Link in the description below to their website.
So it's now the 28th of September. I've produced 4 cutting boards and a pizza peel, along with 47 coasters. However, I have just sold another 7 coasters, so that's an extra £21 to come off of the total that I'll put up here. Now those coasters were a little bit more work than I expected, and they took up a bit more of my time, hence why I couldn't get more done. But that's okay, because this was all just a big trial thing, which I think, you know, hasn't been too bad. So I'm going to leave this video here. There will be another one of these type of videos, maybe not quite so much in depth as this one, because we've already covered a lot of subjects, but that'll be out at the end of next month. There's plenty of links below to the XTool machines and XTool's website. There's the links to the free SVGs or vector files for these cutting boards, pizza peels. Help yourself to checking all them out, and I will see you in the next one.